Right now, at this very second, your body is doing a million things you're not even thinking about. Your heart is beating, you're breathing, you're digesting food. It's all just happening. It's on autopilot. So in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain and take a look at the incredible control system that makes it all possible.
So that's really the big mystery, isn't it? How? How does this ridiculously complex machine, our body, keep everything in perfect balance, all day, every day, without us having to lift a finger or even think about it? Well, let's go on a little journey and find out.
It turns out the answer lies in this whole world of automatic control systems. And that world has a name: physiology. You can think of physiology as the ultimate user's manual for the human body. It's the science that explains all the rules that keep you alive. So let's crack it open.
Okay, first things first, we have to zoom way in. Because you got to understand your body isn't just one single entity. Nope, it's more like a massive, sprawling society, a universe made up of tiny individual living things we call cells.
And just look at that number. We're talking 35 to 40 trillion human cells. That's the population of the bustling metropolis that is you. Every single one is like a tiny citizen, doing its job, using energy, and playing its part. The scale is just mind-boggling.
And just like any big city, you've got specialists. These cells aren't all the same. For instance, about 25 trillion of them, that's the huge majority, are red blood cells. Their one and only job is to be the body's delivery service for oxygen. Other cells become muscle, or neurons in your brain, or skin. Each one is an expert in its field.
But here's where it gets really wild. This society isn't just made up of your cells. You're also playing host to trillions and trillions of microbes, bacteria and other little critters. In fact, these members of your microbiota probably outnumber your own human cells. And they're not invaders. They're essential residents, helping out with all kinds of vital jobs.
Okay, so if your body is this society of trillions of cells, where do they all live? What's their neighborhood like? Well, that brings us to the next big piece of the puzzle, this sort of private internal ocean that every single one of your cells is floating around in.
Scientists call this the internal environment, or if you want to get technical, the extracellular fluid. Basically, it's the soup that surrounds all your cells. It's where they get their oxygen, all their nutrients, and it's also where they dump their trash. The quality of this internal ocean is everything.
A really great way to think about it is like this. Your body is a walking, talking, perfectly maintained aquarium. As long as the water quality, the temperature, the pH, the food supply is just right, all the trillions of delicate little organisms inside, which are your cells, are happy and healthy. If it goes wrong, they can't survive.
And believe me, this internal ocean is meticulously managed. The chemical mix of the fluid outside the cells is totally different from the fluid inside them. Your body burns a massive amount of energy just to keep this specific balance, because it's absolutely crucial for everything from making your muscles move to firing a thought through your brain.
Right, so how does the body do it? How does it maintain this perfect internal ocean? This question brings us to the main event. Keeping this balance is the single most important job in your body. It is a constant, high-stakes juggling act that has a very special name. And that name is homeostasis. This is the master concept, the big idea of all of physiology. It's the combined effort of all of your organs, all of your tissues, working together to make sure that internal environment stays stable and perfect for life, no matter what craziness is happening in the world outside.
And the stakes here, they could not be higher. I mean, just look at these ranges. Your blood pH normally sits right at 7.4. If it shifts just a little bit to 6.9 or up to 8.0, that's it. It's lights out. Your body temperature has a little more give, but not much. The point is, life exists on a razor's edge, within these incredibly narrow windows.
So how on earth does the body pull this off? Who's on the control crew making all the adjustments? Well, this is where we meet the truly elegant mechanism that runs the whole show. This is the body's automatic pilot system.
The unsung hero of your entire life, really, is a process called negative feedback. This is the basic operating principle behind almost all of the body's thousands of control systems. And its job is beautifully simple. If something gets too high, it brings it back down. If something gets too low, it brings it back up. That's it.
Let's use blood pressure as a perfect example. Deep in your arteries, you have these tiny sensors. When they feel that your blood pressure is creeping up too high, they fire off an alarm signal straight to your brain. Your brain then compares that signal to what your blood pressure should be, and it immediately responds. It sends out commands to your heart to slow down a bit and to your blood vessels to relax and open up. And the result? Your blood pressure comes right back down to normal. Problem solved. That is negative feedback in action.
Now, you might be wondering, is there an opposite? And yeah, there is. It's called positive feedback. Instead of hitting the brakes on a change, it slams on the accelerator. It amplifies it. Think of it like a domino rally. One little thing triggers a bigger thing, which triggers an even bigger thing, and you get this massive cascade. It's way rarer because it can lead to chaos, but it's absolutely vital for things like blood clotting, where you need a huge, fast response to plug a leak.
Okay, let's zoom back out. We've talked about the trillions of cells, the internal ocean they swim in, and the incredible control systems that keep it all perfect. Now it's time to put all those pieces of the puzzle together and reveal the fundamental secret of how we stay alive.
I just love this idea from the source material because it sums it up so perfectly. Your body is a social order. All those trillions of cells get to live in this perfectly maintained paradise thanks to homeostasis. And what's the price of admission? In return, every single one of those specialized cells does its job to help maintain that exact same environment for everybody else.
And that right there, that's the beautiful secret. It's a perfect circle of give and take. The whole system works around the clock to support every tiny cell, and in turn, every cell does its part to support the whole system. This constant, automatic back and forth, that is the body's autopilot. That is the secret to life.
And that leaves us with one last, really important thought. If homeostasis is health, if our very lives depend on this perfect automatic pilot system running smoothly, what happens when it starts to break down? Well, when homeostasis fails, that's the very definition of disease. Thanks for joining this explainer.